Hello, welcome to another video on the OCD Recovery YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a video in regards to relapses and setbacks. So first of all, very common part of the journey. I've experienced many along my personal journey, and being the imperfect, fallible human that we all are, we're likely to slip up, we're likely to make mistakes, and that applies to the OCD recovery journey as well. Okay, so what tends to happen? You could be, I mean, when you normally come to therapy, you're probably suffering quite a bit. You're in quite a bad way. You're really struggling. Now, let's say you've been introduced to the tools and all these new things that when you go through therapy, reading the books, all these new things, and you are starting to feel better. You're starting to feel in a better place, not as anxious, not as chronic guilt, not as triggered as often. So you could be going along, feeling better, coasting if you wish, and just feeling quite good. Not as you're functioning. Your OCD is more manageable. You're getting back to daily life, going back to work, seeing friends, socialising, going to sporting events, going to music concerts, going on holiday. You start gradually getting your life back. Okay, so you're feeling okay. Now, what I tend to find happen with me, OCD would then sort of have a tantrum, kick his feet, really trying to grab my attention, okay? Really try and sort of disrupt, really try and get in there, okay? If I was enjoying something, if I was looking forward to something, getting excited for anything, then it would go, okay, let's find something else, okay? Let's what can trigger him, all right? How can we, yeah, like I said, get tension away? How can we feel anxious? How can we make him panic? How can we feel that chronic guilt? All right, so that's what I found happened to me. And that triggers, okay, so uncomfortable sensations, uncomfortable feelings, they could come back, okay, a new fear, something you haven't even thought of, something you didn't even think was scary in the past is now the most scariest thing in the world, okay, could be an old fear, okay, that could have resurfaced. POCD, you could suddenly be scared of, POCD again, harm OCD, chronic guilt, false memory, real event, you could have found something else. Oh, get them on that one, you never thought that before, boom, straight in there. Okay, so all these fears can resurface, and you feel like you're back to square one, feel like the end of the world again. Now, that was mainly my experience of nothing matters. I can't enjoy anything. Okay, now I've been triggered again. I was doing so well, but nothing matters. I've been triggered again. My life's over. Okay, very black and white thinking. Felt very undeserving. Felt guilt, that chronic guilt that's ramped up. Feeling very anxious again. Okay, feeling this time is real. This time is different. This time is not OCD. That was OCD, but this is not OCD. OCD is always going to tell you that. Always going to find a way of how can we get in there? How can we trigger them again? So I say him because I'm referring to me, but how can we trigger them again? Okay. Now, OCD morphs. All right, a common thing with relapse and setbacks, OCD morphs. I know I mentioned new fears and old fears. It can be anything, but OCD is likely to morph to something that's completely new to you, something you didn't even realise you were scared of. Because what tends to happen was, all of it, I could be obsessing about something. It could be a real event. Okay, I could be obsessing about that 24/7. Now, all of a sudden, I've sort of worked on that, and then it's found something else. Now, the old event or the old false memory that I was obsessing about suddenly doesn't matter. Well, that's nothing. This is now everything. Okay, this new thing, this new fear, this new thought, this new feeling, whatever. This is now everything. Nothing else matters. Okay, so it's expecting OCD to morph. You're not back to square one if OCD morphs. It's not the end of the world. The world doesn't collapse around you because your OCD's morphed. It is likely to happen. All right, and this is when we go back to our using the tools of what's helped you in the past, going to your unconditional acceptance, going back to your disputing irrational beliefs. All right, but mainly when it does morph, you're bringing it for the ride as well. All right, as soon as there's something new, you're not panicking and go, all right, let's dispute. That's when it becomes compulsive. All right, so first of all, we are leaving thoughts there, but we're also when it starts to stick, when you feel stuck, when it becomes chronic, or you're just completely obsessed about it. That's when we look to the beliefs and go towards breaking down the fear rationally. All right, so that's with morphing. Now, what really helped me with relapse and setbacks, okay, was changing my mindset towards them. All right, not fearing them. Saw them as a blessing in disguise, really. Okay, now I know how it feels. I know this. You're like, oh my God, here we go again. It feels like the worst thing in the world. I know that. But when I've changed the mindset to it's a blessing in disguise, all right, OCD is highlighting to me. It's pointing out. It's that, like, look, you're still scared of this. You're still scared of that. That's still a big fear of yours. Okay, it's showing me what I need to work on. What I'm still scared of. What I still couldn't accept myself with. Okay, so with unconditional acceptance, it's go, right, you can accept yourself in these areas, but what about this? Now, unconditional acceptance is anything. Could be absolutely anything, like Albert Ellis's book says, how to stubbornly refuse to make yourself miserable by anything. Yes, anything. Unconditional acceptance, no conditions. No matter what, even if that, even if this. Okay, so changing your mindset, changing your attitude, not being scared of well, it takes me on to my next point, the fear of fear. Now, I'm going to do a separate video on fear of fear. I'm going to go into some more detail, but what really contributed and played a part in my relapses was the fear of fear, feeling like how you once did. We all know that feeling too well. Oh, I really don't want to feel like that again. I really, please, begging, I don't want to feel like that again. Now, I'm sorry, but if you're demanding you must not feel like that again, then I'm afraid to say that OCD is going to really try and latch onto that and try and make you feel like that again. Okay, so I've changed it to, I really wouldn't want that. It'd be very uncomfortable, very unfortunate if I did, but I could stand it. Okay, I don't die if I feel like shit. If I feel chronic guilt ramped up 24/7, I don't die. Yes, my quality of life may have gone down, but I can still enjoy many things. I might not enjoy them as much as I prefer, but it's not the total. It's not the end of the world if I felt like I once did. Okay, and I like to think now with the tools I've learned as well along the journey. Not saying I'd never feel bad again, of course not. But I like to feel with those tools I can sort of make myself feel better and look at things more rationally and not go to 0 to 100 where you're okay and all of a sudden you're feeling horrendous, feeling terrible, feeling awful. All these are rational words. Okay, so that's fear of fear. Yeah, so I cannot stand this. I cannot stand that. Changing it so I can stand this. I don't dissolve. I don't evaporate if I feel like rubbish again. Okay. Now, what I look at my demands and my rigid thinking. I did a video previously on OCD and rigid thinking. Now, where are my musts? Where are my needs? Where are they sneaking, creeping back in? And which they do, which OCD will try to do, which any human will. It's a process. You don't learn rational thinking and unconditional acceptance. You don't just learn it overnight and then never feel like you once did in the past. It's always going to try and creep back in, try and get you. Okay, so look at my shoulds. Okay, look at my musts, look at my oughts, look at my needs. What am I needing? Am I needing approval? Mustn't I be rejected? Would it be terrible if I was? Would it make me a terrible, awful person if I was? Okay, so looking back at your thinking, looking back to what you got to a much calmer place in the past, seeing what did you use to get there, and applying that thinking again. It's about balance as well, not compulsory, not as soon as you feel bad. Okay, let's look at me thinking quick. It's a gradual process, all right? Bringing it for the ride, but also looking at your thinking. What got you to the state you were? What got you feeling better before? Okay. The next point is, the amount of times I used to beat myself up when I slipped up, when I made a mistake along the recovery journey, when I started doing compulsions again, when I started feeling scared again. Okay, I used to beat myself up, hit myself over the stick, metaphorically, not literally, but it felt like that. You're human, you're going to slip up, you're fallible, this is all what we learn on the journey, you're imperfect, all right? You're going to make mistakes, you're going to go back to your old thinking, all right? Mate, do not beat yourself up. Okay, now there's no weakness. There's nothing wrong with seeking help again. If you were really struggling, there's nothing wrong with speaking to someone else with OCD and go, look, I'm struggling a bit here. I've got myself to a good position. Can I have a bit of advice? I mean, this is also good about OCD community. We other people are stuck. Make sure there's no reassurance, there's no confession going on. We're going back to what we've learned. How did we get there in the past? And how can we get to it again after the relapse or a setback? All right, there's nothing wrong with seeking therapy again. Nothing wrong with going over the books, going over the rational thinking. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I've done it many times. I've read How to Stubbornly Refuse the Albert Ellis book many times. Well, 3 or 4 times. So I've just gone over my thinking. Okay, you don't just read the book once and that's it. You're cured. That's not how it works. Okay. Also, there's no such thing as square one as well. That is a very key point. You're not, just because you're feeling bad, you're not all the way back to the beginning. Think of everything you've learned. Think of all these people that you've met along the OCD recovery journey. Think of all these things you're grateful for, not just thinking negative, where I feel like shit, that's it, this is totally awful, I've got no hope again, I'm hopeless. Okay, so I always tend to finish my videos with hope. Hope. Okay, please, if you have a relapse and a setback, which you will, please keep hope. Don't lose hope over a setback. All right, very frustrating, very unpleasant. I know that, but it's not the end of the world. You can get through. However, OCD is always going to convince you, always going to make you feel real. This time's real. This one's different. Okay, so hope. Okay, so that's, like I said, I'll do another video on fear of fear. I'll go into some more detail there, but that is a big thing for me. And yeah, if you like the video, please give the video a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave a comment if you've got any suggestions for videos, any feedback. That'd be much appreciated. Anyway, take care. Bye bye.